Welcome back, everybody, to the deep dive. You know the drill, right? You send us the goods, and we dive deep. We
Yeah.
pull out all those fascinating bits.
We do.
So today,
Mm-hmm.
we're taking a peek at something pretty different. We're looking at a draft script
Okay.
for a kids show.
Interesting.
It's an educational podcast called AITinkleTime.
Uh-huh.
Let's explore and learn. Now, you might be thinking,
That's
look,
okay.
I don't have kids. I'm not a teacher.
Right?
What am I going to learn from this? But trust me, on this
Sure.
this deep dive is going to be eye-opening
Okay.
because it's going to show us how to make anything, even complex stuff, super engaging.
I see. Yeah. That's a really valuable skill to have no matter who your audience is.
Absolutely, yeah. Even as adults, there's so much we can learn from this
Right.
about how to communicate and teach effectively.
Yeah. How to get people excited about learning.
Exactly.
That's half the battle right there.
Right. So let's jump in. Take the first segment, for example. They're talking about a simple pencil,
Okay.
but they don't bore you with the whole history of pencils, like where graphite comes from and all that.
Right.
Instead, they hit you with this line. The wood keeps the graphite safe, just like a knight protecting its sword.
Wow. That's pretty creative.
It is. It really grabs your attention.
Yeah, totally. It's not just about simplifying the concept, They're using an analogy that a kid can immediately grasp,
Right.
like knights and swords. I mean, what kid isn't fascinated by that?
Yeah, exactly.
And by making that connection, they're building a bridge between something familiar, the knight and the sword, to this new piece of information about the pencil. And that's really smart because it makes it so much easier to understand and remember.
Makes total sense.
It's clever.
And then
Yeah.
they hit you with this question out of nowhere. How many pencils do you think one tree can make?
Ooh.
What do you think?
I don't know. That's a good question. I've never actually thought about that.
Right. And that's the point. It gets those little minds working.
Yeah.
It sparks their curiosity.
Absolutely.
They're not just passively listening anymore. They're actively engaged.
Yeah. They're thinking about it. They want to know the answer.
Exactly.
And that's the key.
And that's something that,
Yeah.
works for adults too.
Totally. We're way more likely to remember something if it piqued our interest, if we're genuinely curious about it.
Right. And it makes you think about it later too.
It sticks with you,
Yeah, totally.
You're more likely to go and look it up or ask somebody.
Okay, so something else that really struck me was
Yeah.
this fun fact flash section.
Oh, yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's like out of nowhere, they throw in these random facts. Like 1 minute they're talking about pencils, the next minute it's honeybees or
Yeah.
giant sequoia trees.
Interesting.
And I'm thinking,
Yeah.
does this really add anything? Or are they just trying to, keep the kids entertained?
That's a great question. I mean, on the surface, yeah, they seem totally random.
Yeah.
But I think there's more to it than that.
Okay.
You see these fun fact flashes, they're kind of like little mental breadcrumbs,
Breadcrumbs. Okay.
Yeah, leading the listener down a path of curiosity. It's like, hey, here's this cool thing about honeybees. Want to learn more?
I see.
It keeps them engaged. And it breaks up the more structured learning parts, gives them a little break.
Oh, okay. So it's like a little surprise, keeps them guessing.
Exactly. It keeps things fresh and unpredictable.
And keeps them coming back for more.
Exactly.
Now, one thing I did notice was the host, the AI host,
Yeah.
uses a very enthusiastic tone,
Mm.
like super upbeat,
Right.
lots of magical this and
Yeah.
superpower that.
Yeah.
Do you think that's effective?
Whoa.
Or could it be a bit much for some kids?
That's a really good question. I think for a lot of kids, that energy, it's infectious. It pulls them in.
Yeah.
But you're right. For some kids, it might be overwhelming.
Yeah.
It's a delicate balance, isn't it?
It is.
You got to make sure the enthusiasm doesn't overshadow the actual content.
Right.
And, you bring up a good point about the language.
Yeah.
All that superpower stuff. While it might resonate with some kids, it could also, unintentionally, reinforce certain stereotypes.
Oh, okay.
And that's something we always have to be mindful of.
Right.
How can we make the language equally appealing to all children, regardless of gender, background,
Yeah. That's a great point.
Yeah,
It's definitely something to think about.
it is.
So looking back at all this, I mean,
Yeah.
it seems like the big takeaways
Yeah.
are
Agree they.
simplicity, interactivity, and engaging language.
Yeah.
And these are all relevant whether you're 5 or 55.
Absolutely. You hit the nail on the head.
Right.
It doesn't matter who you are. Those principles are universal.
Yeah. powerful stuff.
They really are. And, as we wrap up this deep dive, I think it leaves us with a really interesting question. What everyday object could you explain to a child in a way that sparks their curiosity, that makes them want to learn more? Think about it.
Wow.
Give it a try. You might be surprised at how much fun it is and what you learn in the process.
I love that. That's a great challenge. And hey,
Yeah.
if you come across something
Uh-huh.
you think deserves a deep dive,
Oh, yeah.
send it our way.
We're always looking for new material.
Always. We love exploring. Until next time,
Until next time.
keep those brains buzzing.
Keep them buzzing.